Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today my topic is called telecommunication. We use telecommunication in our everyday lives to communicate with each other, text, and video chat. In the early 1800s, there wasn't a lot of ways to communicate within far distances. The only fastest way was using a semaphore, and it involved two arms. You can move two arms in the body, and after you made each letter, you would flash a mirror over it to reflect it to the sun so the other person can see. But now we have improved, so we can have wireless communication, and we can also send pictures to each other without any trouble in seconds. So first I'm going to talk about electric fuses, then I'm going to talk about messages without wires, how around the world in seconds, and how the messages can get around the world as fast as the speed of light, the too much information fact, and how it travels and how it gets to another place very detailedly. And lastly, I'm going to talk about information squeeze and inventing new networks. After that, I'm going to talk about these little pictures over here because it involves different types of telecommunication, such as online. Then there were cables to connect it to the satellite, to beam the message to the satellite. There was a thing that was invented so it could send paper messages and pictures. So like if you were to draw a map and you wanted to show someone, it would copy all the memory down and then send it to another person with this image. And first I'm going to talk about electric fuses. So there were some people who had the idea of sending messages through electric. So electric, the letters turn into little electric signals, which then get passed along copper wires to another place. This was invented in 1837, and this became faster because you could write it at home, and there was a machine that involved you picking letters, and it would be sent through copper wires. This wasn't very convenient because it takes a long time to travel through the wires, because imagine if you were sending something very far away, it would only move super slow. This was not the most convenient way. Now I'm going to talk about messages without wires. Alexander discovered how to send the human voice along wires. This was different from letters because now we can be able to interact with each other using our voices. A scientist or an inventor called Arthur C. Clarke had an idea about having a voice message, sending it through cables to a thing to reflect it to a satellite in space, because the electric waves cannot travel around the Earth's curved surface. So instead, it travels into a straight line after it reaches the satellite transmitter, and it transmits the sound to the satellite. Then it goes to the satellite and back down to one of those satellite transmitters and goes down with copper wires. The Arthur C. Clarke's claim came true when the first satellite called Simcom-3 was launched, but he got to solid. Now I'm going to talk about too much information. Sometimes we can we can text each other, but we don't actually know how much information is sent each second. There are so many messages sent each second, but the messages get sent instantly because we invented the fiber optic cables, which have an inner layer of fiber and glass, and each of those glass can carry several messages. After we carry it to the satellite and it beams microwave signals to the satellite, it goes back. The satellite helps it send back to the transmitter and into those fiber optic cables. These fiber optic cables are better than copper wires because they use electric signals instead of analog signals. Electric signals are like a flash of light. It can be able to send more faster, and that enables us to send more messages a second. And now I'm going to talk about information squeeze. As we invent more networks, we have to have the old ones work too. So that means scientists are trying to expand the networks and trying to fit more information in each second. So after we invent each network, there's still room for more. There's this thing that was invented in Japan, and it's still used today because they invented large networks, so we could fit a lot of information and still have room for more. And my conclusion is that telecommunication is really helpful, and I think that telecommunication enables us to chat with friends even though we're not in the same living space, and we also can communicate from far distances. Even now, we can communicate all the way across the world, even though it takes a long time just to walk there. I think it's more convenient than when the semaphore was invented in the early 1800s, because this could take a long time with each letter, and now I can't believe that we have found out how to do so many ways and even send our human voices along wires. Thank you for listening. I hope you like and subscribe to my channel.